It's Monday, and I'm feeling like going on the warpath. I just get in those moods sometimes. Sometimes I just see things that make me mad, and it makes me want to make some changes. You know how it is. You've been there before. Today I kind of wanted to talk about the GOP establishment. Something that I am increasingly less and less a fan of. And I have a feeling that you guys are too, judging by the polls. Not just this chat in particular, which, by the way, is looking stunning. Stunning today. How are you guys doing? Looking good. But I'm saying, looking at the polls, it would appear that the Republican Party is just not a fan anymore. It's just not a fan of the GOP establishment. And there's a good reason for this. It's because all of these radical agenda points that the Democrats have been pushing, these people seem to just go along with. They just seem to go along with it. Like it's no big deal. What's up, guys? Welcome. Welcome to the party. Whoa, is Virginia here? Whoa! We got the whole crew. We got the whole crew. Brandon's on the warpath. Have some fire water first. So I got some Buffalo Trace. This is a very rare. Very rare. And just for you guys, just because y'all have brought it up twice now, I'm gonna do a little I'm gonna do a little morning time breakfast, an option for morning time breakfast, just for you guys. That might give me a little bit more of an oomph. Oh man, that smells so good, dude. Buffalo Trace is, oh. Oh, that's nice. Ooh, that tastes good. Warms the chest. That's what I'm talking about. All right. You have too much energy for a Monday morning. I'm gonna have to side with you on day drinking. I actually don't drink all that much. Despite popular opinion, I actually don't. Especially during the weekdays, I typically abstain from anything too hard. I'll have like an old fashioned here and there. Or maybe I'll have a beer while I'm making dinner. But to be honest with you, I'm actually not that heavy of a drinker. I like good alcohol, of course. I'm not, you know. I like good whiskey. You know, good whiskey is just mwah. Little nip here and there, not a bad thing. Party warms the chest, cockles the area below the cockle. The cockles of the heart. Just got home from a 13-hour night from hell. My word, Carrie. I hope you get paid very well for the work that you do. You work all the time. It's good for what ails you. Amen, dude. It actually did feel really good. Like there's a warmth in the chest now. You know what? I was on the warpath. Now I'm just feeling good. You guys want to just kind of chill? You guys just want to chill and just kind of hang? What's up, pickled squirrel? How you doing? I love the overnight shifts. My pocketbook thought my recovery was good idea. Big. What's up, McCracken? How you doing, James? How's it going? Welcome to the show, guys. Welcome to the show. Hey, it's National Relaxation Day. Am I supposed to be drinking? If you want to, man. If you want to. Look, it's still morning time, so like Bloody Marys and mimosas are still on the table. You know? They're still on the table. Texas breakfast. Hey, yeah, there it is. Texas breakfast. All right, I woke up, I had some coffee, I had a little whiskey. Now, I'm good. What do you do, Carrie, if you don't mind me asking? Oh, yeah. Yeah, it has been a hot minute, Carrie. I ain't seen you around in a minute. I'm glad to have you back. Let's talk. We got to talk about she's Batman. I mean, look, she works every night, right? All these weird shifts. I think Carrie's Batman. I think Noob is right. I think that she goes out at night, she fights crime from the shadows. She listens to a lot of Nirvana, according to the new Batman. You can have mint juleps. There it is. 8 a.m. here in the one true time zone. Central is the one true time zone, animal. Let's get that straight right now. Central is the only time zone that matters. Okay? It's got Texas. It's got NASA. It's between everything, so it kind of evens everything out. It's just... Sorry. It's just Central time. I don't know why everyone's like, oh, yeah, Eastern time. We're going by Eastern. No, dude, Central. Trust me, your lives will be much easier if you just plan everything Central time. Trust me. Just get rid of daylight savings. Dude, amen. Who was the, I forget what Indian brave it said, but it was like, only the white man. I don't know why I'm printing. It's like, only the white man can think that detaching the top part of a blanket and reattaching it to the bottom part would make the blanket longer. That's the worst Native American accent I've ever tried. That has ever been tried. It's God's time zone. That houses America's team. Carrie works in a grocery store for pricing department, so I'm a person who makes sure your groceries are priced right on shelf and not out of date. Thank you. Thank you for all your work. CST is a subtitled correction. Solipsism? Wait, that's a word I don't know. Solipsism? That's a word I don't know. The theory that the self is the only thing that can be known or verified. The view that the self is the only reality. So, like, it's kind of like main character energy, is what solipsism sounds like. Main character energy. Eastern time is all that matters. No, weren't you listening, Carrie? It doesn't. I'm just saying. Texas, Washington. Okay? Which one? Which one is more important? Carrie does do the Lord's work. Can't you do better than Batman? No Star Wars or Star Trek? Dude, what is... Okay, alright, now you're getting greedy. If someone called me Batman, I would be like, tearing up over here, okay? I like my new job. I work in a big tractor company now. That's cool, man. Sometimes I wish I worked at, like, a job outside of politics. I swear, if ever I get the chance to retire, and not have to work in politics anymore, you know what I want to do? I want to just go build computers for a living. That's what I want to do. You know? I love to put that kind of stuff together. It's just fun. Everything in west of EST is just slow. All right, you know what? No, we've got the great time zone wars happening now in chat. Okay? All right. One in the chat if you are with me in my CST army. Okay? One's in the chat if you're with me. 2 in the chat if you're wrong. Batman is great, so Batman's the best, dude. He is so good. I'm the only actual time zone, so just... Dark John! Welcome to my army. Welcome to my Central Standard Time army. Together we will achieve victory. Look at all these. Look at all these 3s and 2s. Lower than dirt. All right, let's talk. We'll put the war aside with each other for just a little bit. Just a little bit. We'll come back to this. Because we got stuff to talk about. 2.5. Becca, you're cheating. You can't. 42. That's the answer to everything. E0. This war is rather silly. This war is rather silly. CST is as mythical to me as EST. Brady, wait, what time zone do you live in? Are you Pacific? Animal, you're Pacific, right? Yeah. It's because the East Coast has to have something. Exactly. They've got New York and Washington. They got Florida, I guess. I guess they got Florida. They've got Ron DeSantis. So they've got that going for them. PST? Yeah, I thought so. Yeah. The sun comes up and it goes down every day. Wait, Alaska is its own time zone? Is it really? Dude, I'm learning so much today. I thought it was just... Wow! Alaska Standard Time. Wow! Okay, I did not know that. I did not know that. And I feel a little embarrassed about the fact that I did not know that. End stream. Stream's done. I'm clearly too dumb for this job. I'm clearly too stupid for this job. I don't know why they selected me to do it. We got Georgia too. I used to live in Georgia. Good times. We have Ron DeSantis. I don't actually care which is why I list both time zones of promotion. Took a time zone course in the Navy. Get rid of them. LOL, they suck. I can understand the need for time zones. I just think that there is a certain time zone that is better than others. And I happen to live in it. The national championship trophy resides in the East. In the EST. Alaska is so huge that it has its own time zone. That actually makes a lot of sense. And next you learn about Hawaii. Oh yeah, Hawaii's like 5 hours behind behind Central, if I remember correctly. I did my wedding and honeymoon in Hawaii. We have street signs for people outside EST. Slow children from... Okay, Raptor! Bringing out the big guns over here. You want to play dirty? Animal can see Russia from his time zone. Yeah, exactly. The Russian time zone from his... The great time zone wars have begun. Chat will forever be divided. Working as a meteorologist, we had an intimate knowledge of GMT. Greenwich Mean Time. Greenwich sounds like a vegetarian sandwich, and I'm immediately not cool with that. Did y'all see how they're trying to make bug butter? Just before we dive into this, I saw this on Twitter, and I kind of wish I had saved it. Because I saw this... I wonder if I can still find it, because it was Ian Miles Chong who tweeted it out. And I saw it, and I about gagged. Hang on, let me see if I can find it. If not... Yeah, I found it. Okay, this is it. This is it.
All this cake needs is flour, eggs, and 20 grams of dead insects. No, you haven't misheard. A team of scientists at Belgium's University of Ghent are trying to find a way to substitute dairy in cakes, cookies, and waffles. They say deriving grease from insects is more green than dairy.
Did y'all see what was written on that thing?
Deriving grease from
insect fat. Insect fat.
More green than dairy production.
Dude,
They are more sustainable because they use less land. They are more efficient converting feed to weight. They also use less water to produce. And in this case, they can be produced within Europe. That will decrease the footprint that other type of food sources bring because they come from far away, let's say South America or Southeast Asia.
By soaking the insects in a little bit of water and then mushing them with a kitchen blender before centrifuges separate the butter-like substance, a grease is made which the team use to bake with. But how does it go down outside of the lab?
For me, there's no difference. So it's actually better.
No, it's not. You're so full of crap. No, it's not.
Cakes again?
Yeah.
Why not?
Why Why not?
You're so full of crap, dude.
I don't think so. No?
The team say that consumers can't taste the difference when a quarter of the milk butter is replaced with the fat from the insects.
No.
They start to notice when it gets to the halfway mark. So who knows? One day you could be munching on a cockroach croissant as you head to the office, or making your nearest and dearest a beetle birthday cake.
Okay, so let me just go ahead and stop this there because real fast. Okay, so the whole reason that they're doing this whole insect thing, okay, is because they are trying to push this idea that cows and all sorts of livestock are bad for the environment and that their farts are tearing up the ozone and we're all going to die because of it, right? We're going to enter some sort of ice age because cows couldn't hold it in. All right. That's why they're resorting to this insect thing now. They're trying to push insects on us. What's weird to me is that, like, we have throughout our entire human history pretty much been ranchers or herders or farmers. And we have utilized goats, cows, pigs, like all these animals to come in and we use them for all sorts of stuff, right? We milk a lot of things and have been since we were since we were almost nomads. So the fact that they're now just trying to push this whole bug thing on us just tells me that the left has actually lost their freaking minds, man. They've lost their minds. Now we're getting down to a point where it's like, why don't we just grind up a bunch of mealworms and then serve it as butter to save the planet? Bro, you're not saving the planet. This is all, oh my God. Sometimes I wonder, we deserve Armageddon. We absolutely deserve it. What's up, Cleo? Bugs are one thing I will never eat. No bugs. The only bugs that I will ever eat, ever, are crawfish. That's it. Crawfish and shrimp. Lobsters. Like, that's that stuff. I'll eat that stuff, right? But not, no. Nope. You can't make me eat cockroaches. You can't make me eat mealworms. You can't make me eat crickets. You can't. I'm not going to do it. Just like the impossible meat, you know, I'm not, if it's made in a lab, I'm not going to eat that kind of meat, man. That's so gross, bro. I don't understand why these people are trying so hard to stop us from eating cows. Cows are not going to end the planet. These people are like, they're like druids. They're like druids. They think that you know, anytime that we do anything, it's just going to upset Mother Nature and Mother Nature's going to punish us. Like some nature god is going to come down and like smite us for raising cattle. I'm reminded of the Monty Python Crunchy Frog skit. Okay, so I'm a huge Monty Python fan, but I don't remember the Crunchy Frog skit. I'm going to have to look that up. Chocolate-covered crickets are pretty good if done properly. I think I had tried one on Mojo once. Remember when I had that show? Okay, if they're going to do this, we're going to call it Wizzo Butter. Wizzo Butter contains 20% more, less, and is completely indistinguishable from a dead crab. Buy Wizzo Butter and go to heaven. We saved the ozone layer by getting rid of real hairspray in the 90s. Dude, there's always a war against something in our society because it's going to cause some sort of like critical meltdown of nature. Always. It's always something. But like, we're always going to die, but we never die. We're always going to see the end of the world, but we never see the end of the world. We're always going to see the day after tomorrow, but that movie was garbage. They made fun of it on South Park. It's nothing. Nothing ever happens. You know what actually really truly affects the planet? The sun. Okay, cosmic entities outside of our control. That's what really affects temperature and the way the weather works on the planet. Celestial bodies. Am I saying that mankind doesn't have an impact on the environment? No, I'm not saying that. Of course it does. But the extent to which they say that we do is absolute nonsense. And a bunch of cows farting into the atmosphere is not going to collapse the ozone layer. This is nonsense, man. Stink bugs would be the worst. What would you... Stink bug cake? I know how to garden. Elites don't. No, they do not. Remember the fun they had with you can eat cicadas. Here's a few recipes to try at home. Dude, these are the same people who, like, think that... Never mind, I'm not going to get into it because it's absolutely gross, but I'll just tell you that it involves women mixing their own fluids into things. Smite me, almighty smiter! Good reference. Impossible Burgers are losing their fast food contracts. May go out of... Because no one wants to eat them, and no one should. No one should. No one should eat those things. We should not encourage this. With the market. Someone might want to tell Obama so he can sell his beachfront mansion. Yeah, maybe. No way I'm eating the impossible meats. Too much soy and my... Dude, soy is bad for you. Soy is really bad for you. We have to eat those darn cows. They eat our grass and poop all over the place. We are carbon-based life forms in a carbon-based ecosystem. And they say carbon is bad. Here's the thing that, like, really drove... no one talks about this. No one talks about this. Sorry, I'm going to get to this. I'm going to get to this in a second, but now y'all have got me worked up. Carbon dioxide is basically tree food. Okay? Whenever you have more carbon dioxide in the air, trees tend to benefit. More plant life grows because it feasts on it, right? We are undergoing something called global greening right now. There are trees, shrubs, shrubbery, that kind of stuff popping up in various places where they hadn't before because of a little bit of an increase in carbon dioxide in the air. NASA said this. This is what's happening. They're not talking about it. No one's talking about it. Especially in the media. Why would they? They like the whole idea that... Sorry. I have to silence the Slack. They like the whole idea that they can convince us that everything that we do is somehow bad for the planet, but it's not. It's not. The planet is far stronger than we give it credit for, than the mainstream media, the Democrats give it. It learns to deal and cope with the things that happen to it. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that we should just rampage all over the planet and destroy it and dump into the oceans and all that stuff. No, of course, I'm all about conservation. Conservation is a conservative ideal when you really break it down. Conservation is great. The people that I've seen that are most concerned about the environment are people like ranchers, farmers, hunters. These people who go out and work with the land. They know more about it than anybody else. Yet you have these people in Washington who have never had to put their hands into the soil a day in their life, telling us, oh, well, because you drive a car around, you're hurting the planet. Now, excuse me while I fly off in my private jet, while a whole bunch of other world leaders fly off in their private jet, and we meet in one place to discuss how you're horrible. Dude, I'm sick of it. I'm so... Dude, the whole entire... It's a scam. The whole entire industry revolving around the planet dying and the end of the world and, global warming, global cooling, climate change. It's a scam. It's all a scam. If any politician, right or left, starts going, we need to do stuff about the environment, you're scamming the people. You're scamming. There's something in it for you. Our oceans absorb heat, actually. You know what else it absorbs? Oil. Oil spills, they like to make oil spills seem like they're like this big, huge... Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that they're good. But they make it sound so apocalyptic when it happens. Y'all, there are microbes in the ocean whose entire job is to eat oil. More oil seeps up from the ocean floor than you can possibly imagine. And the reason that it's not like black and tarry is because these microbes, the sea, just eats everything. But they want to show you pictures of like oil washing up onto the beach and little duckies and the sea life, and they're covered in oil, and they were using the Dawn soap to dry them off. And it's sad, don't get me wrong, and I'm glad that they're doing it. But at the same time, it's like, y'all, just relax. Relax. The ocean's got this. Nature's got this. What's up, Sean? Can confirm most people who actually live out in nature. Yeah, exactly. The biggest mouths about climate change leave the biggest carbon footprint. Fact. Mandatory millibar levels, 925, 850, up to 200 vertical vorticity charts are cool too. Amtrue just laid a bunch of words on me that are confusing me. California won't get rid of private planes, but your lawnmower is in danger. It's so stupid. They made a lot of money on. Oh, it's an industry. The whole climate Church of Climate Change is an industry, and people need to understand that. It's just like the media. It's not here to be your friend. It's an industry. It's a business, you know. And they're selling you this false nonsense in order for you to give up power, to give up your lifestyle so that they can make money off of the alternatives. They should keep they should worry about keeping the oceans clean. There's that one guy who invented that boat that his whole entire job is picking up garbage from Garbage Island, and I'm like, let's clean up Garbage Island. Let's do that. Let's go to India and clean up the rivers, which are just like full of nothing but trash. Let's do that. That's fine. Clean up our water. I like that idea. Cleaning up the environment whenever there is a mess is not a bad thing. I'm very much in favor of that. But man, we've got to stop with the panic porn. It is a power grab. Sean is right. Dawn soap, boy, did they forever nail that marketing campaign. Oh yeah, I had a little duckling. Oh, that's bottles forever. It's cute. It worked. I mean, y'all want to... Okay, one more thing, and then I'm done. The paper straw thing. The whole paper straw thing, you know how that came about? It became about because one video of a straw stuck in a turtle's nose. That's all it took. Was that pained look on that turtle's face as they were pulling the straw out of his nose. And then all of a sudden you had restaurants everywhere. We proudly use paper straws. That didn't last long. That did not last long. People were, by the time it was really in full swing, people were ready to revolt when they got a paper straw. Your boy included. All right. Let's do this because y'all came for this. Viewers came for this, not my rants about the environment. Liz Cheney is more than 25 points down. It's about more than just Trump. So, as per the usual, go to redstate.com. Pretty much almost everything we're about to talk about is at redstate.com. You can follow along with me. Please sign up for the VIP. Wow, I just blanked. The VIP program. You can use promo code Morse on sign up. It really helps us out as they are trying to take us down. And the more power we have given to us from you guys, the less they are successful about that. It really helps us stay on our feet, and it continues to allow me to do this with you, chat. And I want to grow this community. I want to make this really big. So with your help, the VIP program, promo code Morse, MRSE, it really does help advance this whole entire thing. So, like the stream as well. Smash that like button. Smash it. Do it now. Do it now. Do it now. Do it now. Right now, we are... The GOP... Let me just say this real fast. The GOP is in a state of flux at the moment. Now, you might say that it has been in a state of flux for a good long while, and you wouldn't be wrong. But I have noticed something to pick up, a change in the winds, if you will. Because as the Democrat Party is having their own civil war with the radicals facing off against the moderates, which they're not, I hesitate to call them Democrat moderates because they're not really moderate per se. They're really just out for themselves. So it's these radicals who are true believers in this idea of a socialist nation versus Democrats who are there because they've learned how to take advantage of the system. They're not actually moderates. They'll just go along with whatever they're ordered to go along with because it benefits them. While all that's happening, the GOP is kind of going its own state of flux, only what's happening there is the exact opposite. It's not radicals that are trying to take over the party. What it is Americans, patriots, who are actually kind of done with the radicalism. They're done with the Washington establishment, which has, the Republican establishment is almost you can't tell the difference between them and the Democrats. They're trying to move it back into a more center-right area for our country. Something that makes a lot more sense, something where the decisions don't actively harm the country or the rights of the people. So that is going to require some work. And it's going to require some side taking. A lot of people are noting right now that the GOP establishment is not siding with them. A line was drawn in the sand by President Donald Trump, and you'll notice that many Americans, over the course of years, drifted toward his side of the line, toward Trump's, which ended up being more or less where America kind of should sit. Many leftists went extremely to the left because of this. Simply because President Trump kind of made them choose. But you'll notice you had many Republicans drift left as well, almost sometimes just as extreme. Many of these Republicans, you'll notice, have actively turned against Trump. Many of these Republicans, you'll notice, have actively turned against the Republican Party. There are people out there who call themselves staunch Republicans. They like to refer to themselves by Republican-sounding names like the Lincoln Project. But if you really look at their actions, they are 110% against Republicans. They're against anything that even remotely resembles Trump. Even if you're not pro-Trump, even if you plan on voting for DeSantis, perfectly legitimate, okay? Even if you plan on doing that, you're too far right for them. Because you are currently you're currently on that side of the line that Trump drew. One of these people is Liz Cheney. Liz Cheney has pretty much exemplified that kind of I'm over on this left side of the line because of Trump. She has completely forgotten the people of Wyoming where she is a senator. And she has focused more on herself and what her prejudices are than the people of Wyoming. And it shouldn't surprise anybody that she is now down 25 points. Because she is exhibiting the same exact issues that the people who have crossed that right side of the line that Trump drew, exhibiting those qualities that they hate in these politicians. It's not about the people. It's not about service to the country. It's about yourself. Let's go ahead and dive into this. This is from the great Joe Cunningham, a good friend of mine who writes at Red State. And he is also a deputy managing editor. Liz Cheney is more than 25 points down, and it's about more than just Trump. 6 years ago, Donald Trump and Liz Cheney were elected on the same day. Cheney has consistently won more than 60% of the vote in Wyoming's at-large House district races. And in 2020, she almost topped 70%, just shy of then-President Donald Trump's percentage of the vote in that election. But in the 2 years since the 2020 election, Cheney has devoted herself to the ongoing prosecution of Trump, culminating in her participation in the January 6th committee and their hearings. I would almost say that Liz Cheney isn't participating. She's almost leading it. Her goal, along with fellow anti-Trump Republican Adam Kinzinger, has been to tell America how awful Trump is and how he is a treasonous insurrectionist. She has made it her mission to try to convince Republicans that Trump is poison. Notice that this isn't even about, at the moment, Wyoming. She doesn't care. It's all about Trump right now. That's all she can see. In the wake of her crusade, Harriet Hageman, a former Cheney ally, is running to take Cheney's spot in Wyoming's lone congressional seat. Hageman is clearly doing a good job of convincing Wyoming primary voters to do so. She is up 29 points in the latest University of Wyoming poll and averaging more than 25 points in the Real Clear Politics average. The UW poll notes that there is simply not enough Democratic crossover votes to save Cheney, even when Democratic powerhouses like disgraced Senator Al Franken endorse her. She got endorsed by Al Franken, you guys. That's really going to make Republicans go, maybe I'll turn this around and vote for Cheney again. Despite the fact that she hasn't really done anything for Wyoming. She's so blinded by her hatred of Trump that she's almost forgotten the state of Wyoming, the people there. It would be very easy to say that this is simply a matter of pro-Trump versus anti-Trump, and to claim that Trump is still clearly running the party at the base level. But there is something else that needs to be taken into account here, and it's something that even CNN has picked up on. Yet here in Wyoming, Hageman is seen as far more than Trump's handpicked candidate. She grew up on her family's small ranch near Fort Laramie, population 207, not far from the state's border with Nebraska. Long before her fight with Cheney, Hageman gained prominence as a natural resources attorney, specializing on cases protecting the state's water, public lands, and agriculture. Interesting that a Republican actually cares about the environment. Weird, huh? And actually doing work to protect it. Hageman declined to answer questions when CNN caught up with her in Rock Springs, a coal mining town in the southwestern part of the state, saying only, "The race is about Wyoming, nothing else." The race, of course, has become about far more. But several Wyoming voters this week said they appreciated the attention Hageman was devoting to energy, agriculture, and other issues of direct importance to the state. So you've got Hageman, who is 100% caring and working about around the people of Wyoming. It matters what's happening in Wyoming because that's what she was elected to care about. The people of Wyoming, to go there and represent the people. Serious question. If you were to listen to Liz Cheney talk for an hour, and you know nothing else about her other than that she was a senator somewhere, would you guess that she was a senator of the state of Wyoming? Would you actually know that she was a senator there? I wouldn't. Every time I see her, the only word coming out of her mouth is Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump bad. I honestly, if I wasn't reminded from time to time, I would forget that Liz Cheney is a Wyoming senator. Liz Cheney is focused entirely on Washington, D.C., and as a result, she has lost the ability to connect with her voters. And Hageman has a long history of working on the issues important to Wyoming voters. She has been on the ground in the state while Cheney has been preaching in primetime television that the person 70% of the state voted for was a bad person, and that Republicans supporting him were also bad. Meanwhile, Hageman has made this about her state.
Republican Liz Cheney.
There's been an awful lot of noise this election. Candidates attacking each other, making things up, desperate for attention. Liz Cheney, she's made her time in Congress and this election all about her. Well, it's not about her. It's about you. Wyoming deserves a voice in Congress to fight for our values, our way of life. I'm Harriet Hageman. I approve this message because I want to fight for you.
Not gonna lie, she kind of looks like my 5th grade teacher. Like, it's kind of crazy. So-called moderate Republicans have constantly made this mistake. Cheney undoubtedly wants to be reelected, thinking she is doing the right thing by going after Trump. We can argue if doing so is, in fact, the right thing some other time. But the problem is that in attacking Trump, she is attacking the voters of her state. The people of Wyoming don't like the implication that they are a threat to democracy if they support Trump. This is one of the biggest failings, one of the biggest things that many of the people who just careened left when Trump got elected, when they were right-wingers, this is one of the biggest mistakes that they make. They think that everyone hates Trump just as much as they do. So they make their entire presence about being against Trump. Okay? Here's the thing. If they had actually just stopped talking about Trump once he had lost in 2020, Trump would not be nearly as powerful as he is today. Moreover, the Republican Party would not be as against the GOP establishment as it is today. Liz Cheney is 25 points down. 25 points. That's a lot. That is a whole bunch. And it just goes to show you how sick and tired the Republican voters, the conservatives, are about this anti-Trump party. So they're so anti-Trump that they have literally signed on to Democrat causes. They might as well slap a D next to their name and call it a day. Why would I want to vote for somebody that is effectively a Democrat whose primary goal isn't to serve me and my house and my community and my city and my county and my state? But to go out there and make it seem like, you know, the only thing that matters is making sure that somebody that they have a personal vendetta against never gets into office again. Why would I want to vote for them? Don't crusade on my dime. Don't crusade on my dime. And listen to this. Republicans cannot both be loyal to Donald Trump and loyal to the Constitution. Who says that there's a difference? What does that even mean? What has Trump done to break from the Constitution? Does she even know? There's nothing that says that he has broken from the Constitution. There's nothing. She's making that up. Just like the Democrats are making it up that Trump is some huge, massive threat to our national security. He's a criminal. He's this, he's that. How? They have yet to produce one piece of very solid evidence. After years, they've had years and years and years. Not one. Did y'all see that guy that was asked, what did Trump do, or what laws has Trump broken? And the guy, like, provable evidence, and the guy just like froze, and then he just kind of ends it with, I don't want to talk to you anymore. And he walks away. It was like an anti-Trump rally or something. That's the Democrat Party right now in a nutshell. That guy, he just represented them all, including Liz Cheney. It's one thing to have voted for impeachment. It's another to throw away the support your state has had for you repeatedly attacking them through their support of Trump. And Joe makes a really good point here. A lot of things that Democrats don't understand is a lot of people voted for Trump and are very willing to vote for him again. And they're not evil. They're not bad. They're not neo-Nazis. They're just regular Americans who noticed that Trump was very good at running an economy, running a country. All right. Despite the fact that he was uncouth, he had mean tweets. Oh no. Despite the fact that, he exhibited some very, I would say, improper behavior from time to time, especially in his past. He said some things. Ooh. Grab him by the P word. Oh no. Okay. But he was very good at what he did as president. And a lot of people noticed that, and they wanted to vote for him because of it. Doesn't make them evil. But you have Democrats and Republicans like Liz Cheney out there basically saying that if you want to vote for Trump, then you are a horrible person. You're just as bad as he is. What do you think? What do they think that the reaction to that's going to be? Yes, Daddy, I'm a bad boy. Slap me again. You're going to lose people. They're going to turn themselves off to you. Body and mind. When you try to be a moderate, you end up telling both sides that they shouldn't vote for you. And the majority of those who aren't aligned with the particular party choose their side based on what the parties have done and haven't done. Most voters have made their choices based on current policies and the current state of affairs. Far fewer voters are making decisions based on the political climate in Washington, D.C. Fact. That's a fact. Washington, D.C. is a bubble. And if you remain there for long enough, you start to get a little confused about what's important. Okay? If you start really integrating yourself with that kind of culture, you really start to lose track of what's going on. And Liz Cheney is one of the perfect examples of this. Poster child. She forgot what it was to be a Wyoming senator. Cheney chose D.C. over Wyoming. As a result, she's staring down a humiliating defeat, though she'll call it martyrdom rather than an embarrassment. That is actually fact. She is going to say that something along the lines of like the Trump machine defeated me, that we have a very strong growing evil in this nation, and she'll say it from her new position at MSNBC. Animal, thanks for stopping by, brother. I thought that Dick would just take Trump bird hunting. And they can never answer the question. Nope. Same like the people in Matt Walsh's What is a Woman? Yeah, look, I mean, I'm not saying the right's not guilty of this too, it is. But if you enclose yourself in a bubble, like the left does constantly, eventually that something is going to enter that bubble that is going to challenge your version of reality. And you're going to have to answer some very hard questions. And what do you do at that point? You either admit you're wrong, which no one in this time wants to do. You know? Because there are consequences to admitting that you're wrong. Big consequences. Or you simply walk away. And pretend like you're just, you know, I'm too busy and too good to talk to you now. I don't need to address your questions. It's coming from an evil place. I didn't vote for pastor in chief. If anyone has shown they're a threat to the Constitution, Liz Cheney has done that repeatedly. She's repeatedly shown she's unprincipled and unwilling to take Faustian pacts. You love mean tweets. YouTube does need a clip button. Or at least it needs a better way of operating the clip. Because it does have one, it just sucks. Unlike Twitch. We need to find a way to move away from the popularity contest and back to the meritocratic way of choosing our people. It's hard sometimes, but it's become crucial. Absolutely. I think one of the ways that we do that is implement term limits. Or I'm sorry, did I keep saying senator? I'm sorry. Yeah, I apologize. Nice. Term limits. It's been a long mistake in America to ever have allowed these words, career and politician, in the same sentence. It's an avenue to corruption. Straight to it. I did a lot. Yeah, sorry. That was my bad. For some reason, I don't know what it is. Whenever I hear the word Cheney, I just immediately think senator. I don't know why. Didn't the legislators pick the senators not by popular vote back in the day? Representative Cheney. My apologies. See, I'm wrong, guys. I was wrong. See how easy that was? Carrie is about to explode. That's kind of the constant. My apologies, guys. I said the wrong. I keep in my head. It's like my brain wants to take over my tongue constantly, and if I'm like if in the back of my head it's like whispering one thing, it comes out here. Maybe you think senator because you think about Roman senators and Caesar. Maybe. The Ides of March. Congress will never vote themselves term limits, but we have term limits by our voting. See, this is why I think that, like I said the other day on the last stream, what we need is policy unmakers, not policy makers. We need to vote in people who will more than gladly go in and vote to depower the House, the Senate, even the executive office. I think that these need to be warriors, not just because they're not going in to be elected officials. They're not going in there to set up space and just kind of rule over the space for a while, right? They have no intention of getting reelected if they can help it. They go in there and they start fighting immediately. They start blowing it up. They start closing doors and locking them. Policy unmakers is what we need. 100%. We need people who are willing to go in and make the hard decisions. Because right now they're not. And I hate to say that. Because there are politicians out there that I absolutely adore. But do I think that they would ever actually vote themselves out of a job effectively? No, they like their job. And some of them they do that job well, as they should. But if you ask me, I really do not think that a good senator here and there that can stay in office in perpetuity is worth a bunch of bad senators staying in office in perpetuity. Noob, don't make excuses for him. Okay. Moving on. Mitch McConnell is suddenly trying to lower expectations for the midterms. Why? Senator Mitch McConnell. This is from The Independent. On Wednesday evening, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell did something peculiar. He tamped down expectations for the upcoming midterm elections. We have a 50-50 Senate now. He said during an interview with Brett Baer on Fox News, we have a 50-50 nation. And I think when the Senate race smoke clears, we're likely to have a very, very close Senate race or Senate still, with either us up slightly or the Democrats up slightly. I've been looking at the way the nation looks right now, and I do not agree with him at all. I really do think that if Republicans do their job and they go out and they vote, and I'm talking about Republican voters, they go out and vote like they should, it's not gonna be that close. I don't expect the red part of the nation to just sweep over the Senate so that it's like a vast majority. I don't expect that necessarily. But I do think that it can be a decisive victory. And I'm kind of interested as to why McConnell suddenly believes that that's not going to happen. Even a few months ago, nobody would have expected McConnell to curb enthusiasm about a Republican takeover. Joe Biden's approval numbers are still dismal, and inflation is at a 40-year high. Senate Democrats, meanwhile, still have not passed their massive social spending bill and are defending seats in 4 swing states, including Nevada, Georgia, Arizona, and New Hampshire. All of these things are still true, but the circumstances are changing. For one thing, Joe Manchin and Chuck Schumer have stunned Washington by striking a deal on what's known as the Inflation Reduction Act, a scaled-down but still huge spending package that tackles climate change, healthcare, and prescription drug costs. The Democrats' goal is to sidestep GOP opposition by passing the bill through budget reconciliation. This came despite McConnell offering an ultimatum. If Schumer and Manchin continue their talks on the reconciliation deal, Republicans would kill legislation meant to support the manufacturing of semiconductors in the U.S. Yet, almost immediately after the vote on that bill last Wednesday, Manchin and Schumer announced their deal. McConnell admitted on Fox News that the deal flabbergasted him as much as anyone. I think all of us were so shocked by Senator Manchin's reversal of positions he's taken as recently as last week against raising taxes. Fox News Bear read a question from a viewer who asked how McConnell had gotten played on the bill. Reconciliation is something done by one party only, he responded. There's nothing we could have done to prevent the Democrats from doing a bill that only they will vote for. So it's not a question of being played here. What the storyline is here is that Senator Manchin has agreed to something. Okay. As Bayer pointed out, this is hardly the only area where Republicans are in trouble. In critical Senate races across the country, Republican candidates are struggling to pull away from their opponents or even pulling well behind them. Among these standouts are Herschel Walker in Georgia, J.D. Vance in Ohio, and Mehmet Oz in Pennsylvania. All three were endorsed in their primaries by Donald Trump, who either cleared the field for them or gave their campaigns a much-needed boost, but each of them have come with serious baggage. On Tuesday, another Trump-backed candidate, venture capitalist Blake Masters, won the Republican primary to challenge Senator Mark Kelly in Arizona. Masters has repeated many of Trump's lies about the election being stolen and has a history of making racist remarks. An endorsement from the founder of neo-Nazi website, which Masters rejected, did not do anything for his image. As if this weren't enough, McConnell and the rest of the GOP received a massive shock on Tuesday when voters in Ruby Red, Kansas overwhelmingly rejected an amendment to the state's constitution that would have banned abortion. Okay, so I just want to throw this out because this is painting a very bleak version of what's happening for Republicans. Are things going perfectly for Republicans? No. No, they're not. But I have noticed that a lot of this could have been avoided. A lot of this could have been avoided. If McConnell and the like would stop playing with Democrats and actually have and lead a GOP that is staunchly in favor of working for the American people, we probably would not see many of these people losing. McConnell is a creature of Washington. You'll notice that he wasn't exactly for Trump. He wasn't exactly for many of the GOP nominees. He stays mum about many things. He was mum about the raid for a while until he was forced to say something. McConnell is a GOP establishment member who has been in office for a very long time, and he cares about McConnell. He's not, I would not say that he is a team player. Do I think that he is very good at playing politics? Sure. I think that he is an amazing politician. I can admit that. He's a very smart guy. He's capable of playing 4D chess. He is. But the issue is that he's not playing 4D chess for the right team. He's playing for his team, for Team McConnell. He is willing to do things that hurt America if it means that he thinks it will give the GOP at least a little wiggle room. But McConnell represents a GOP of old. McConnell represents a GOP that was willing to play ball with a team that has no intention of playing fair. He wants to make deals with a team whose primary goal is to go back on every single deal that they make if it means that they can have a little bit more of a victory. So it's about Trump again. Delacroix, yes. Maybe he's afraid of being out in the minority. He seems comfortable there. Mitch needs to go along with the rest of the rhinos. I'm time to watch. You are, I think, correct here. I think that they are. Look, you have a Republican Party of old, the establishment, that is no different from the Democrat establishment. Because I said at the very beginning of this stream that there is the Democrat Party, the establishment Democrat Party, isn't really out for America, but they're also not out really, I would say, for an ideal. The radicals of the Democrat Party are out for an ideal. They see a country that is supposed to be socialist and should be socialist and, social justice driven, woke culture, this and all that stuff. That is, they have a true belief in something. The only thing that the Democrat establishment believes in is empowering themselves, giving themselves a leg up. And the Republican establishment is absolutely no different. They are creatures of a bygone era that still hold on and grasp to power. It is either about being against Trump, or it is about empowering themselves. Bottom line. It is one or the other, or both, but I mean, like, they have been in Washington for so long that they have learned how to work the system in their favor. And it's sad. It's sad that we have right now a GOP leadership in the Senate that's more concerned about how they're going to live this high life, how they're going to take advantage of the system and work out deals that benefit them than they do the American people. It's sad. It's sad that we're there. And it goes beyond Mitch McConnell. It goes beyond Mitch McConnell. You got Murkowski, you got Thune. It's these people just, they infect the Republican Party and they cripple it. They are a bum leg. You've got Mitch McConnell and Thune actually saying the exact same thing. Thune actually also said, well, I think because Thune is McConnell's lackey. That should be understood. But I mean, they are both right now trying to be like, well, the Republicans just aren't looking good right now. Bro, that's your team. You're not supporting your team. You're not trying to make your team look good. It's such a defeatist attitude that they have. But what do they care? What do they care? It's not about America. It's not about Republicans and the Republican goal of actually servicing America, making it better. Imagine what it would look like if instead of a Mitch McConnell as the leader of the Republicans in the Senate, we had a Rand Paul or a Ted Cruz. Imagine that. What would it look like? What would the GOP look like? Also, McConnell said Joe Biden was a good man. See, he's not. But in McConnell's eyes, it's like, well, he's a great politician. Game knows game. He's for his position, keeping his seniority and his committee appointments. Yep. Also, McConnell said Joe Biden... Yeah, all right, I read that. For some reason, Mitch thinks he is in a horse race and jockeying for the best position. Yeah, am true. My dream is for all bills in Congress be just one item. If we can get rid of all the tags along them, there is no reason to compromise and put into law what other side does not want. Also, a big thing. I 100% agree with that, Cleo. No more pork, no more add-ons. Just, what is the bill about? That one thing. And I also think that bills should have... they probably at best should be 20 pages long. You vote in increments. Because, I swear, these pages these bills that are like thousands of pages long, and then they expect them to read them in like a night and understand them. Wretched Davian, thank you so much for the sub. It blows my mind that we have a Congress that acts like that operates like that. I mean, it is one of the most corrupt practices that we have, and yet they just continue to slide in all this other stuff on top of this one bill. One bill, one law. Yeah. One day we need to be willing to play nice and be diplomatic, but right now we need strength and hold the line. As you said in a previous episode, the time for compromise is over. 100% over. We're past it now. We're past it. We can't play games anymore. We have... Let me make something very clear. Every election season, you hear somebody say something along the lines of, now more than ever, we need to come together because everything is on the line. It was a way to get people out to vote, and trust me, not all the time did it actually make that big of a difference. It was just a way to galvanize the base. But this is actually now one of those times because we have a radicalized Democrat Party that is ready and willing to tear America apart so that they can replace it with some sort of failed economic system that requires the removal of rights, private property, Okay? Pretty much making you into a peasant. Under complete control of a government. That's what they want. And they are out in mass to do it. You've got an open border, skyrocketing crime rates, inflation beyond anything that I actually thought that I would see. All right, you have foreign policies that make America unsafe. Bad deals being made left and right. We are at a crossroads, folks. I mean, like, if we don't turn this around, the ship sinks. If they get more power, if they continue to be able, the radicals on the left continue to be able to inject their influence into every single little thing, this country is done. I mean, it'll survive for a little while longer, but they're tearing it apart at a breakneck pace. This is a cultural blitzkrieg. The time for compromise is over, man. We can't have these people who are more concerned about battling their own side or working for themselves. That time's over, man. It can't happen anymore. We're at a scary place right now in America. It's very scary. We just had an FBI raid a former president with no real intent or no real goal, as it were. Except to find something. This is what they're not talking about. Their goal was to find something that they could use to put him away. They went and they seized a phone from a senator in hopes that they could find something to put Trump away. We have an IRS that is gearing up, ready to attack the people. They're not there to attack the rich. They're there to attack you. 87,000 agents. Billions of dollars over 10 years. Ammo, trucks. You think they're there for the rich? No, they're here for you. They just recruited an army. We're at a scary time. It's a scary time. It's a scary time. We need warriors. We need policy unmakers. We need people who are willing to walk into Washington after being elected and tearing the establishment apart until it is almost unrecognizable. Don't think that they can't do. Man, I've seen some weird stuff happen in the years that I have been working in politics. Weird stuff. Stuff that I never thought would happen in my lifetime. The collapse of Roe v. Wade proves to me that anything is possible. Don't think we can't do it. This is from August 6th. Trump blasts the Democratic-led, from Business Insider, led climate and tax bill, says old broken crow Mitch McConnell was taken for a joyride by Joe Manchin. Trump actually had the ride of it. While Mitch McConnell was out there trying to say, hey, you know, I was flabbergasted. I didn't know Mitch McConnell, or I didn't know Joe Manchin was going to do this. Trump was like, you could have seen it coming. Former President Donald Trump on Friday slammed the Democratic-led climate, health, and tax bill, arguing that the Republican Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell of Kentucky was, quote, taken for a ride by Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia. The radical Democrats now intend to impose the biggest tax hike in American history, the exact opposite of what I did, Trump said at a Milwaukee rally. And they are working feverishly to pile on more regulations at levels never seen before. You're going to have regulations like nobody has ever seen before. The Sweeping Inflation Reduction Act of 2022, which was crafted by Senator Majority Leader Chuck Schumer of New York and Manchin, was prime fodder for the former president as he continued to hint at a 2024 campaign. Trump said that McConnell, a one-time political ally who had become a frequent target of the former president after lambasting his conduct on January 6, 2021, was, quote, taken for a ride by Manchin, who came to an agreement with Schumer after weeks of negotiations that stunned senators on both sides of the aisle who assumed that an ambitious climate agenda was all but impossible before the midterm elections. Joe Manchin was totally sold out West Virginia, said Trump, who was stumping for Republican gubernatorial candidate Tim Michels alongside Adam Steen, GOP House candidate looking to unseat State Assembly Speaker Robin Vos. He continued, "What he's done to that state is disgraceful. And I told the old broken crow Mitch McConnell that this was going to happen. I said, it's going to happen to you, Mitch. It's going to happen to you." For over a year, the more moderate Manchin has served as a Democratic bulwark against some of the President Joe Biden's most ambitious domestic plans, notably after he torpedoed the Build Back Better Act, which, before it fell apart, was envisioned to cost nearly $2 trillion and would have funded climate initiatives, an expansion of the Affordable Care Act, and universal pre-K. The new tax and climate bill, in its current form, would allow a 3-year extension of subsidies for individuals to buy health insurance through the Affordable Care Act, which also provided nearly $370 billion for climate and energy programs and $300 billion to reduce the federal budget deficit. The bill would also generate roughly $739 billion in revenue over the next decade. Republicans, who have been firmly opposed to the larger domestic Democrat spending bills, were taken aback by the legislative breakthrough between Schumer and Manchin last week. When the agreement was announced, the Senate has just passed a $52 billion CHIPS funding bill that attracted significant Republican support. Several GOP senators were incensed that news about the reconciliation deal came after the chamber passed the aforementioned legislation. Regarding the timing of the announcement, Manchin said at a press event last Thursday that there was no malice intended whatsoever. "We should be looking for what's good for the country," he said at the time. "I'm hoping my Republican friends will look at this bill, how it's been presented, and what's really in it." Virtually all Senate Democrats were on board with the proposal last week, but Kyrsten Sinema of Arizona for most of this week remained a key holdout, and she had previously expressed opposition to narrowing a carried interest loophole favored by hedge fund managers and private equity investors. Schumer, who needed Sinema's vote to proceed the bill in the 50-50 Senate, stripped the carried interest provision bill from the bill at her request. The moderate lawmaker on Friday then agreed to support the bill, pending additional review from the Senate parliamentarian that it complies with the upper chamber's reconciliation rules. Democrats are seeking to pass the legislation through the budget reconciliation process. It's already read. All right. So I have to agree with Trump here. I think that if you actually had a man who was out to win and not out to have a... Here's how I look at it. If McConnell was a winner, he would have gone up to Manchin and he would have said, "Hey, don't vote for this. It's very clear that the GOP is going to have a field day. Okay? We can make deals with you if you make deals with us. Don't vote for this. Don't do it." Instead, it appears that McConnell was twiddling his thumbs, not trying to court Manchin, not trying to convince him not to go over to the dark side. Okay? Meanwhile, Democrats were making all these promises for Manchin, which he eventually accepted. And boom, now we have this. McConnell is not a winner. He's not a warrior. He's not out to help. He's out to benefit McConnell. If we had something like a Ted Cruz, I kind of wonder if there would have been a different outcome here. And I want to show you guys this as well. I know we're kind of running low on time, but I kind of wanted to show you guys this because this is what I mean when I say that many of these politicians don't go there to serve you. When they become a part of that bubble, they serve their own interests. Mike Miller wrote this at Red State on Sunday. "Who knew Liz Cheney's husband's law firm represents Hunter Biden in DOJ's grand jury probe? G. Willikers." Interesting. Hey, what's up, Jim? How you doing? Everyone in this chat is like all for the term limits, man. And I'm so glad to hear that. Term limits are important. Yep. It should be required that any bill that's being voted on should be read in its entirety. Yeah, 100% agree with that. On the floor. Northwest Ordinance is in American history second only to the Constitution, the breadth and its effect. It was only 600 words long, half a page. Good law does not have to be 2,000 pages. If it's more than, I swear, if it is 2,000 pages, then there's corruption embedded all. It is filthy with corruption. Get rid of it. The immediate response is to vote no on it. Are you saying there are going to be some fun times ahead, Brandon? Freedom Caucus is a pretty good start. It's a great start. It's a great start. If they are coming for me, they're going to need all 87,000 of them. We're going to go GTA. The author and playwright Oscar Wilde once said that he always took his diary on the train because he wanted to have something scandalous to read. I like that. Cinema paid 1.3 by farm. Dude, let's all look at moderate Democrats as not necessarily moderate because they have a belief about moderation. It's because they know that they can play the game and they can get something out of themselves for it. I never trust a moderate Democrat, except for maybe Tulsi Gabbard. Have you heard about this Ezra Miller drama, Brandon? Oh, yeah. I have. I could go on and on about it. I wish there was allowed to own defense stocks. Wouldn't that be nice? I kind of want to read this to you guys real fast. With just 48 hours remaining, as I write, before Cheney is likely destroyed by Trump-backed challenger Harriet Hageman on Tuesday's Wyoming primary, Cheney presently trails Hageman by 30 points. Reports confirm that Cheney's husband, Philip Perry, is a partner in a law firm that represents Hunter Biden in a Department of Justice grand jury probe. Trump-appointed U.S. prosecutor David Weiss is investigating Hunter and the various associations for tax violations and lying to law enforcement about illegally purchasing a firearm. Perry's partner, Chris Clark, represents Hunter in the grand jury investigation regarding tax issues. His company biography says, as reported by Breitbart, Perry owns between $1 million and $5 million stake in the firm, according to Cheney's 2020 personal finance disclosures. Moreover, as noted by Breitbart, Latham & Watkins is a Democrat powerhouse which employs attorneys who have donated more than $500,000 to President Biden's 2020 campaign. And according to Federal Election Commission records, Clark himself gave $3,800 to Biden's 2020 presidential campaign. So, are we looking at a mere coincidence, or is this a classic case of if it looks like a duck, swims like a duck, and quacks like a duck, then it's probably a duck? I report, you decide, for now anyway. Here's where the plot thickens. Just kidding, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. That said, check it out via Breitbart. Perry's firm has advised a Chinese Communist Party-linked technology company named TME and Exelon Corporation. The State Department in 2019 dubbed TME a tool of the Chinese government. According to the Wall Street Journal in 2011, Exelon Corporation agreed to provide consulting and training services to an arm of the state-owned China Nuclear Corporation, CNNC. The state-owned CNNC's president and vice president are appointed by the highest administrative position in the government of China, the premier of the People's Republic of China. The CNNC supervises all facets of China's nuclear programs. Red State has reported extensively on Hunter Biden's troubling business in China, many of which have paid him millions of dollars for jobs and assignments for which his only qualification appeared to be he's Joe Biden's son. Among reports we've covered, the disclosure of the Bohai Capital, the private equity arm of Bank of China International Holdings Ltd., is the majority owner of Hunter Biden's venture capital firm BHR. Hunter's closest business partner met with then Vice President Biden at the White House 19 times, and a prominent senator predicting a deal to a Hunter Biden indictment from the American people. Meanwhile, Joe Biden continues to make two statements that cannot both be true. Out of one side of his mouth, the big guy ridiculously continues to insist that he has never talked with Hunter or any of his associates over his business dealings. Out of the other side of his mouth, Joe categorically insists that Hunter has done nothing wrong or illegal. Sorry, no. These are mutually exclusive statements, Jack. The bottom line, while I'm generally not fond of whataboutism, the adventures of Joe Biden and his crackhead son screams, what about? Imagine for a nanosecond the histrionics that and full metal meltdown of the Democrat Party, the liberal lapdog media, Planet Looney Tunes Hollywood, and every other hypocritical liberal in America if Donald Trump Jr. or Eric Trump had participated in 100th of nefarious, distasteful crap that we already know about, much of it photographed. Then toss on the credible accusation and the probable federal indictment. Can you imagine that? Interesting. It's kind of crazy how connected this is. Liz Cheney's husband, law firm, represents Hunter Biden in DOJ's grand jury probe. Last stream, I spoke a little bit about how many people do not want to get Trump elected or want to stop him from being elected. Because if he is elected and he comes back to the White House, and especially at that point in time, if he has a Senate and a House that is under control of the Republican Party, he's not just going to come in and clean up the mess and it's going to be a better economy and, jobs are going to go up and all that stuff. He's going to make the hard decisions, yada, yada, yada. Now this man has a reason to come in and begin a quest for revenge. He is going to uncover secrets, start investigations. People are going to be fined for millions or they're going to go to jail. This man will be on the warpath once he gets into Washington. And they want to keep him out. It's interesting that Liz Cheney is so against Trump being elected president. It seemed very personal. But why? Was it because of ideology? I don't know. It's kind of weird that Liz Cheney's husband has a law firm that is representing Hunter Biden. Have they worked together in any way? Were they a part, or they knew something about all these deals? Do they know something about what's going on with the big guy? These are questions that I would like to know. I'm pretty sure that once Trump gets into office, if he does get into office, that they will be asked. Investigations will happen. I'm sure there's something. There must be something scary for Liz Cheney, the Cheney family. There must be something. Because this woman has fought tooth and nail to keep Trump out of the White House, to find something, anything that would stop him from running again. So much so that she abandoned the people of Wyoming. Abandoned them. And focused on nothing but Trump. So once again, we have someone of the GOP establishment, the moderates, that seem to have something connected to it all. Something financially connected to it all. Money talks. You can follow the money anywhere, and they'll give you the answer that you seek. And it seems like there's a lot of money riding on the fact that Trump doesn't get into office for the Cheney family. I could be wrong, but it's an interesting connection. It's a really interesting connection. Oop. As the wife, he calls me a benevolent dictator. Seriously, if you want to see how CCP owns US, watch Dai Dongsheng 2019 Remnon University speech. Your jaw will drop. I'm going to look that up. I'm going to actually put that in the search because I actually do want to see that. I'm going to put that in the search. I think I saw that speech. They were laughing about all the money they spent and they got Biden for it. Wow. Just right out in the open. Great show, Brandon. Readers, please go. Thank you so much, Becca. She suffers from TDS. Time to watch. I don't know if it's just TDS. I think that a lot of people have a lot of money or freedom to lose if Trump gets elected president. Their secrets are going to be leaked out into the open, and it is scaring the crap out of it. And that's why many of them are resisting his rise to power. JTC0351C, thank you so much for the sub. Really appreciate it. Money screams. That's a good one. Money don't just talk. It yells really loud. Carrie, time to crash. I think you've earned it. Thank you so much for stopping by. Awesome. The thing is unreal, Brendan. It is. It goes deep, I think. I think it goes deep. And y'all know me. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm really not. I'm not. I kind of despise conspiracy theories. But I think it's important to recognize patterns. You know? And Washington, D.C., politics in general, is one of the most secretive professions that there is. One of the darkest, grubby, muddy professions that there is. People are hiding things all the time. They're making deals in back rooms and glad-handing people that they shouldn't. All for a dime. For themselves. All for more power. Okay? It is not outside of the realm of possibility that sometimes some of these conspiracies that people have don't have some very large kernel of truth to them. And a lot of it's because all you really have to do in order to find out how bad things are is follow the money. Who stands to benefit from what? Monetarily. Who? How? Where? Why? When? It's not that hard to follow that trail. And you still might not have all the answers, but you can put something together. Liz Cheney, it seems, has something to gain by Trump not attaining office. I bet Mitch McConnell does too in some way. There's so much out there that we could that needs to be uncovered. It is a swamp. They don't call it a swamp for no reason. It is a swamp. And it does need to be drained. But in order for that to happen, we're going to need investigations. Miss Character, thank you so much for the sub. We're going to need to have very real investigations. We need people who are willing to go in and clean house and reset the government effectively. Come up with new rules for the government, new rules for politicians. It has to happen. It has to. Because if it doesn't, this is going to continue. Electing President Trump isn't just going to be the thing that fixes everything. It's not. Nor Ron DeSantis, if that's who you're going to vote for, which is perfectly legitimate. Both are very good. I would be happy to see either one in office. Okay? But you need more than that. You need, and it's not just regular politicians. Just replacing a D with an R isn't going to help. You have to replace it with an R who is willing to fight. The GOP establishment is clearly not willing to fight. In fact, they're willing to just work for themselves. They're willing to do what's necessary to make sure that they get paid at the end of the day. They're not there to make America better. They're there to make sure that their interests are protected. That's really what it boils down to. You need policy unmakers. People who will walk in and set fire to that establishment. In a way, I mean, you could say I'm saying that we need a return to that kind of 1776 mentality, and I know that's kind of dorky to say, but it is true. We need to be willing to resort to going against the grain a little bit here. Kind of getting outside of our comfort zone. You know, and sometimes these people, what they say is going to sound radical, but really when you break it down, it's not that radical at all. In fact, it's very, very American. The idea of smaller government should be the goal. And we have had too many Republicans in office lately who's not had that goal. Major changes. Major changes need to happen, guys. Major changes. Dai Dong Cheng also spoke in code to the approximately 9,000 students present and tens of thousands online. Man. Good show as always. Thank you, Cleo. I appreciate that. My money don't jiggle jiggle. It. Sleep tight, yeah. I just talked myself hoarse. They just blame my common sense as conspiracy theory. I think that there are conspiracy theories out there that go a little too far, and that just kind of turns me off. But here's the thing about conspiracy theories. A lot of people don't understand where they come from. A conspiracy theory isn't created in a vacuum. It doesn't just arrive out of nowhere. A conspiracy theory is created when a person lacks answers that they should have, and they desperately need to find those answers. And in lieu of not being provided these answers, they will start to create their own. The thing about the human brain, it's a really interesting thing about the human brain. The human brain considers the unknown almost like a pain. So when you have something that's important to you and you don't have the answer to it, your brain will begin desperately searching for answers for itself. It'll take the clues that it has, the evidence, and it will create a conclusion, effectively. So you have that happening in a world right now where your leaders, the people that you elect, are refusing to give you the entire answer. They're being shady. They're keeping things to themselves. They're not being forthcoming. Why did why did China seem to just get off on creating the coronavirus and spreading it around the world? Who was connected to it? Why did Dr. Fauci seem to be fighting so hard for lockdowns? All of this. Why is he? People started to create conspiracies around it because no one was really fessing up. The only person who was really seeming to get down to the bottom of things were Jim Jordan and Rand Paul. And they found some really interesting things. Things that rightly should have put Fauci under a massive investigation, but it didn't. The pharmaceutical companies. You had a lot of people make a lot of money. Which politicians were making money? Well, we can guess. So conspiracy theories are going to form around it. It is the lack of information that creates a conspiracy theory. And right now we have a Washington, we have leaders who are refusing to give the information that we require in order to come to a solid conclusion. And so people are going to create conspiracy theories for that reason. Conspiracy theories don't just pop out of nowhere. They are created because people are keeping secrets. Now, I am not a fan of conspiracy theories myself, but it is easy to start to recognize patterns. And when a pattern is fully recognizable, you can start to draw conclusions. Educated guesses, if you were. Can't we all agree on something as simple as pineapple and ham pizza is yummy? Get out. Actually, no, I can't say that. I've actually never had pineapple on pizza. I do want to try it one day. Dianne Feinstein, Juicy Smollett. Yeah. God, that would be hilarious. America First is the only way. Amen. Time to watch. Amen. Pineapple and Canadian bacon. I've heard that. Pineapple and ham. I've heard. Oh, and they said the pineapple pizza with jalapenos is apparently. It's like the sweet and spicy together. And there's a taco that I really love. It's at Torchy's Taco. I don't know if you guys have Torchy's where you live, but they have a brush fire taco, and it's effectively pineapple with spiciness, and it's actually is really good. I'm still here, just creeping in the background. Good. And Hesh drives better than Joe Tato talks. And Hesh only had to crash once. I'm sorry. That was mean. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, God. When Joe said repeat the line, Hunter thought he meant something else. These are good jokes, actually. Wifey being out to get me is not a conspiracy theory. It's not a conspiracy theory. She is out to get you, Raptor. She is. Watch your back. Stop bringing mud into the house, Raptor. I like pizza on my pineapples. I am ungovernable. John's the real rebel. I have my own bathroom for a reason. Oh, dude. My wife has her own bathroom in the house. Her own. She just, that is, I don't even go in there to use the restroom at all. It's right next to my office and I don't use it. It is hers, right? I'm allowed to do whatever I want to the other bathroom, but not that one. I have my own bathroom. Oh, I read that. Well, I feel a couple more clock tower rants coming on. Good! If any here want to live the Book of Eli, jump into comments of David Pakman, Midas Touch, or Texas Paul. That's such a good movie, though. I wouldn't want to live in that world, but it is a great movie. Pineapple Canadian Bacon Smoked Ham is really good. I didn't realize I had so many viewers who are pineapple on pizza people. I didn't realize that. People would consider this like a dangerous chat to be in. Just saying. What do you do to your bathroom? You don't want to know, bro. You don't want to know. All right. It ain't natural. You live where they filmed the Book of Eli. Wait, where did they film the Book of Eli? His or her bathrooms. I endorse this. Also, his and her. I've noticed. I've kind of come to realize this over time. His and her tubes of toothpaste. I didn't realize how important that was until I got married. His and her tubes of toothpaste. Just trust me on it. Trust me. Parts were in southern New Mexico. Oh, really? Pineapple on pizza should be against the law in 49 states, legal in Hawaii only. You have to travel to Hawaii for pineapple on pizza. People are going to become, they're going to riot. Because it's going to start a Streisand effect. Once you tell everybody that they can't put pineapple on pizza, suddenly the world is going to be like, I'm putting pineapple on my damn pizza. Come to my door. Supreme pizza with extra cheese is my fave. I am a pepperoni guy. All I need is extra cheese, extra pepperoni, thin crust. And I'm the happiest camper in the world. Zeducation is all about PA on pizza, pineapple on pizza, but the Red Baron Supreme is a win-win, not the brick oven. Dude, we've got some strong opinions on pizza in this chat. Between time zones and pizza recipes. Thank you, Dark. Thank you. You know what's good? Take a tortilla, spread some cream cheese on it with some ham and crushed pineapple, then roll that beast up. That sounds disgusting. Really? Oh, I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that. Pepperoni jalapenos is very good stuff. Dude, I actually, for a while, my order would be what I just described, but I would put jalapenos on half of that. So you and I are of the same mind there. It is, pepperoni and jalapenos go well together. Hawaiian pizza was actually started in Canada. Canada would think up something like that. Brandon, we'll have to talk bathrooms another day. We don't have to talk about it at all. Look, men. Can we all agree on something? What happens in the bathroom is no other man's business. Can we all agree on that? Look at the way that we act whenever we go into a public restroom. You know, what do men do? It's like a church. You walk in there, and everyone's silent. They're minding their own business. They're looking down. Okay? There's a monk walking around the back room burning incense. Women were really confused about that fact. They were... Because, like, women go into their restrooms and they just talk. Like, they're there to fix their makeup. Yeah, they might potty, but they're there to gossip and do all that stuff. And men go into a restroom to do their business and leave. We're not there to talk. If you actually... I swear to you, if you talk in a men's restroom, people, like, they look at you like you committed, like, some faux pas. And you have. You have. Okay? The men's restroom is like a monastery. You go in there, you keep your voice down if you have to talk. But otherwise, you're silent. We are in contemplation. You ever had Jack's Pizza? No, I haven't. There's a kiwi fruit on pizza now? No, I draw the line. Pineapple is at least somewhat understandable because it's such an intense flavor and it could mix well against the cheese and the pepperoni or whatever. But no, man, kiwi, gimme. That's nonsense. No talking in the personal, that's the rule. Popcorn and jalapeno. You know what else is good? I don't know if y'all can get this where y'all are, but try a jalapeno mule. It's like a Moscow mule, you know, which are good by themselves. Jalapeno juice. Trust me. It'll blow your mind. Do not talk in the bathroom. That's the code, yeah. It's like an unspoken rule. Jax was good, but had one yesterday and almost cried. Beat a friend's ass after he effed up telling me lots of matzo was good. What is a Jack's Pizza? I've never heard of this. We avoid eye contact too. If you absolutely do catch another man's eye in the restroom, this is what you do. Ready? This is what you do. POV, you just saw me in the bathroom. That's it. That's it. Just... Okay, any lingering glances in the bathroom, and I'm going to mistake your intentions. The late, great Asimov knew this. He wrote it into his books such as The Caves of Steel. And you always leave a urinal buffer. Did y'all see? It was during COVID, during the height of the pandemic, and they were like, if you have to use a public restroom, make sure that you use a urinal that is separate from the other urinal. Like, you put a urinal between you. And I tweeted it out. I was like, a woman wrote this. This is 100% written by a woman. They don't know. Because that's also part of unspoken men's etiquette. If there is a urinal and some guy is using it, and there's like a wall of them, you take the urinal that is pretty much the furthest away from that guy. No ifs, ands, or buts. Needed a good laugh. We had a few this morning. Good! I'm glad. No self-respecting man talks to other men while taking a dump or any other... Yeah, we don't need to do that. Or anything. It doesn't matter if you're just standing at the urinal. You don't talk. We have his and her bathroom's garage toothpaste. You name it. She needs her own. The garage was my idea. That's probably a great idea, actually. The she shed is probably... The she shed and the man cave, I feel like, are really good ideas. Really, really solid advancements in relationships, in modern relationships. Yep, nothing more. Any more is awkward. Don't linger on the eyes. I'm going to mistake your intentions. Do not talk at the urinals. Polite greetings while washing hands are okay. And they are short and curt. Just nod your head and leave. That's it. No words necessary. Yep, Amshu's right. These are the unspoken rules of the women in this chat are like, what the hell is going on? Women go in groups. Yeah, I know. See, here's the thing. I can't go to the restroom and talk to people. Like, I don't have no desire to do that. Men and women are just so different, man. Especially do not talk at the urinals. Yeah, I already read that. Urinal etiquette doesn't apply to Joe anymore. You're likely to get sniffed. There are foreign concepts and a look into your ways as men. Fascinating. Becca has learned a lot today, guys. Becca has learned a lot today. All right, I'll let you guys go. I almost went like 30 minutes extra. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out. Go to redstate.com. Everything is there that I just talked about, more or less. Sign up for the VIP program. Use promo code Morse, MRSE, on sign up. It really helps us out. Follow me at the Morse Code on Twitter, at the Morse Code Live on Instagram. Also, check out the new videos that I've got some new videos up on the Red State YouTube. Some highlights. Go check them out. Give them a like. Give this stream a like. Love that help with the algorithm. Guys, y'all have a good rest of your week. I will see you guys on Wednesday. Be there. Or be square. And if you want me to talk about something, please, my DMs are open. Throw me something. We'll talk about it. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later. Peace!